Hello friends, how are you all? Welcome to our CSS training session. Today we will talk about a very important CSS property, CSS position. This property helps you control how elements are placed on a web page. For example, it allows you to adjust an element to its normal position, keep it fixed in one place, or move it according to the viewport. So let's start by discussing the state position. By default, the position property is set to static for element. This means no specific position is applied, and the element stays in its normal position. For example, if your right position is static in your HTML, it won't change anything because this is a default value. Let's look at this with an example. In the code editor, you will see that when we apply position static, there's no movement. The element remains in its default position. Now let's move on to relative position. When you apply position relative, the element stays in its normal position but can be adjusted slightly using the top, bottom, left or right properties. For example, if you write top 20 pixels, the element will move down by 20 pixels, and if you write left 30 pixels, it will move 30 pixels to the right. Let's see it with an example. I will change the position to relative. Now notice how the content shifts from its original position. It moves down and adjusts according to the values we set for the top, left, right or bottom. The next type of positioning is absolute. Element with position absolute are positioned related to the nearest positioned ancestor. That is, an ancestor element with position relative or position absolute. Let me show you an example. I will create two div elements. One is the parent container with position relative, and the other is the child element with position absolute. You will see that the child element's position is determined related to the parent container. Now if I remove the position relative for the parent and apply it directly to the child will be position relative to the viewport instead of the parent. Now let's talk about fixed positioning. Elements with position fixed remain fixed in the viewport regardless of scrolling. For example, if you set position fixed on a button with bottom 20 pixel and right 20 pixel, the button will always stay at the bottom right corner of the screen, even when you scroll. Let me show you an example. I set up a button with position fixed and some of offset. As you scroll, the button will stay fixed in the same position on the screen. Now I'll adjust the position to make the button appear a little higher or on the left side. This will allow you to control the positioning of the element however you want. Finally, let's discuss sticky positioning. The sticky position behaves like relative until the elements reach a defined point, top 0, and then it behaves like fixed for the rest of the scroll. This is useful for creating sticky headers or menus. Let me show you an example. I'll create a sticky header that will stay at the top of the page. When you scroll, I will also demonstrate how the z-index property can be used to control the stacking order of elements. By increasing the z-index, you can bring an element to the front so it appears above other elements. In this example, I set the position to sticky, and as you scroll down, you will see that the element stayed at the CSS top until you scroll past it. CSS position is a very powerful property that controls our positioning of element on a web page. It's essential for creating layouts and ensuring elements are positioned correctly on the page. If you have need further clarification, feel free to ask in the comments. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.